Hey everyone, so by now you've seen Balana running around in some videos, but what you might not have noticed is that she's actually blind in one eye. The eye that looks blue, so her left eye, is blind. So I get a lot of questions about it, and I get a lot of looks from people sometimes. People will ask me, oh, like how does that affect her? So I thought I'd take, hi sweetie. So I thought I'd take a few minutes and answer some of those questions that I commonly get. So one of the first questions I get asked a lot by people is, what happened to Balana's eye? And the truth is, I don't know what happened to Balana's eye. When my partner and I at the time adopted her, we saw her picture. The fosters and the rescue didn't really know what had happened, but we thought it was not so big of a deal that we should not try to get her. You know, being blind in one eye for her, the joke is always that she doesn't realize she's blind in one eye, but we thought it might be something that would keep her from being adopted, and we didn't want her to be in foster care that long. So she was about 10 months old when she was rescued. Her brother actually got adopted by an awesome couple that live in New Hampshire. We're in the Boston area, so we actually had a family reunion once. It was really great to see how similar and how different they were. But the thing that, that's important, whether your dog, if you're looking at a rescue pup and you meet them and everything's going, and maybe they're missing a leg or they're blind in one eye, regardless of whether your dog has had physical challenges that they've had to overcome or mental, psychological challenges they have to overcome, it's really important just to meet the dog where they are and work with them from there. Your expectations and your dog's expectations of what have to happen should really be on the same level, and you should come up with a plan and a course to go on with each other that will help them fight and sort of correct those issues and gain more confidence. But again, not really sure what happened to Balana's eye, but it doesn't stop her from doing anything. So one of the first issues that I tried to address right off the bat was getting her to be okay with people staring at her as we walked. Balana's very unique looking. She's got a very unique looking coat. Being that her blind eye is blue, people think that she just has two different colored eyes. And so we noticed, when we first got her, people would really stare at her on walks, especially at the worst times, which is when we're walking down the street and they're walking down the street and we're coming towards each other and they're just grilling. So one of the things that we worked on a lot is the prompted and unprompted attention, where either I would reward her, I would mark and reward her for giving me her attention when I called her name, or eventually just made a little noise or a click. And unprompted attention, where if I would pay attention if she was looking at something, whether that was somebody in a bike going by, somebody walking, a kid, a car, whatever it was, when she would look back at me, I would also give her lots and lots of treats. So I really wanted to sort of fight that natural instinct that all dogs have of, if I'm being stared at, then I'm being challenged. And really make her say, hey, people are gonna look, it's okay, they're not gonna come near you unless, we say so. One of the things that we got to practice during her K9 Good Citizen test was safe greetings. And so it really taught me two things. One, Balana's very, very friendly, but that doesn't, and lots of dogs are friendly, but that doesn't mean that you should just come right up to them and pet them. One thing that I got to be really good at was advocating for my dog's space. So I would tell people, hey, she's blind in one eye, let me have her sit and see if she wants to come over to you. People are very forward with what they want. So it's really important that before it gets out of hand, you're able to step in and sort of, again, really advocate for your dog's space and read if they're comfortable with the situation or not. So now Balana's pretty good. If she feels like someone's coming right for them, she might just kind of turn around and walk away. So she doesn't have any aggression issues or reactivity issues, but it is something that we always work on. So we're just talking about how, people stare at Balana, and Balana, because of her lack of depth of field, is where she only has sight out of her right eye. I also have to watch out for her staring at other dogs and things too. One of the big things that we work on is greetings with other dogs. When Balana meets another dog, she's, by all accounts in dog language, she's pretty rude. She runs right up to them. She wants to get a good look. She doesn't always go around to the side. Her speed and energy are definitely noticeable, and sometimes it will make dogs really tense up. So one of the things we always try to work on is having her show relaxed body language, keeping myself as a barrier between her and the other dog. We taught her how to do a bow, or in doggy language, it's a play pose. So if I see her looking at another dog, the other dog's looking at her, if I can get her attention, I'll have her do a bow to let the other dog know that she's friendly and is playing around. That doesn't necessarily mean that they get to meet. Meeting dog to dog on leash is a very tricky situation you should always be careful of. But it really kind of helps her, I should say, helps the other dog understand where she's coming from. You know, she's really fun, she's a lot of energy, she loves other dogs, but she's got a very rough play style, she's very athletic, she's very energetic. And just like with people, if somebody came running up to you all sweaty and in the middle of their exercise and wanted you to come with them, it would probably put you off too. So we really try to work on manners and giving the other dog their space away from Balana as well. So when Balana and I first started doing tricks, I thought that her hesitation to do like jumping tricks or moving her body around would be greater than it actually is. So in some ways, I may not deal with some challenges that other dog owners face. She was also, it's assumed that she has been blind in one eye for a very long time since she was a puppy. So she's a very long time to adapt, and this is probably all she really knows. However, when we do tricks, especially disc tricks or tricks where she's jumping over things or onto things, we have to be really careful building up. You know, her athleticism versus her depth of field. It's really important, even if your dog is fully sighted, to be responsible with what you're asking them to do. Balana trusts me, and it's taken a long time to build that trust on, how, if I ask her to do something, that it's a achievable thing, knowing that she doesn't have to second guess whether she can do it because she trusts me. Sometimes I see things going off in a little bit of a tangent here. Sometimes I see people practicing tricks on Instagram or Facebook or things like this that are really clearly not in the dog's best interest, having the dog jump off high ledges to catch them over, standing over concrete. At some point you have to realize it's not what your dog is capable of or their margin of error, it's also your margin of error. So Balana and I are extra cautious when we do any of the jumping tricks, the vaulting tricks you see with disc, to make sure that we've built it up and that we both know what to expect from each other. That's part of the deal.